Welcome, everyone. Today we're tackling a huge topic for any business, workplace drug testing. And look, this isn't just about ticking a box for HR. This is about safety, it's about legal liability, and it's really about the core integrity of your company. So let's get right into it.
Just pause for a second and really think about this. An employee's test comes back positive. That single result can trigger a massive chain reaction. We're talking terminations, legal battles, and huge financial risks. If there is any weak link in your testing process, your entire case could completely fall apart. The stakes couldn't be higher. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack all the risks. Then, we'll introduce the solution, the gold standard. We'll do a deep dive comparing certified labs versus uncertified ones and talk about how this all plays out in today's workplace. Then, we'll wrap it all up with a clear action plan for you. It's a packed agenda, so let's go. Okay, first up, let's get a handle on what we're really dealing with here. Workplace testing, it's not some simple administrative task. It is a high-stakes world filled with potential landmines for any employer.
You know, every single test is a make or break moment. It's a decision that impacts a person's entire career, the safety of your whole team, and of course, your company's public reputation. If you get it wrong, that one mistake can send shockwaves through the entire organization.
And this is the tightrope every employer is walking. On one hand, you've got the huge financial risks of accidents or lawsuits. On the other, the legal liability if you wrongfully terminate someone. And then there's the ethical responsibility to be fair and accurate. If you mess that up, employee morale just plummets, which, ironically, undermines the very safety you were trying to protect in the first place.
So I want to hear from you on this one, especially for the HR managers and business owners out there. What's that one gray area that keeps you up at night? Is it dealing with medical marijuana cards, prescription drugs? Drop a comment below. Let's get a discussion going.
So, you're staring at all these risks. What's the answer? How do you get any kind of certainty in such a messy area? Well, that brings us to the gold standard, a standard set by a federal agency called SAMHSA.
So what is SAMHSA? It stands for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. And here's the key thing to remember. This isn't some private company making up rules. This is a federal agency. It's part of the U.S. Department of Health. Their standards are the real deal, set at the national level.
And these guys are not new to the game. Congress created SAMHSA way back in 1992. Their mission was huge, to improve the nation's behavioral health. And over the years, a massive part of that mission became creating super strict quality control standards for drug testing, just to make sure the results are always reliable and trustworthy.
And this quote just nails it. When you're talking about quality, accuracy, and reliability in drug and alcohol testing, SAMHSA sets the bar. Period. They are the benchmark that everyone else is measured against.
Okay, this brings us to the single most important choice you'll make in your entire testing program: which lab you use. We're about to put SAMHSA-certified labs head-to-head with uncertified ones. And as you're about to see, it's like choosing between two completely different roads with two very different destinations.
Let's start with accuracy and equipment. For a SAMHSA-certified lab, accuracy is the only thing that matters. They follow an incredibly rigid, step-by-step structure for every sample, which basically eliminates the chance for human error. An uncertified lab, though, they might be using equipment that isn't properly calibrated or verified, which immediately throws a huge question mark over the results.
Now, let's talk about the process. A certified lab does everything, and I mean everything in-house. It's their own trained staff, on their own calibrated equipment. There are no handoffs. An uncertified lab, on the other hand, might subcontract or outsource parts of their process. The second that sample leaves their building, you've introduced a new risk and a potential break in the chain of custody.
And this all leads to the consequences, right? With a certified lab, you get consistency, you get reliability, and most importantly, you get results that are legally defensible in court. With an uncertified lab, there's a much higher chance of getting inaccurate or even inconclusive results, and that just leads to chaos, disputes, and major disruptions at work.
A lot of people ask about the cost, and this is so important. Using a certified lab isn't an expense, it's an investment. It's an investment in certainty. Sure, the upfront cost might look a little higher, but think about the cost of one single error from a cheap lab. We're talking retesting, lost work time, and legal fees that can be astronomical. It's the definition of being penny-wise and pound-foolish.
Okay, so here it is. If you remember only one thing from this section, make it this. SAMHSA certification guarantees that the actions you take based on a test result will stand up in court. An uncertified lab, however, opens you wide up to legal liability.
It's the difference between building your house on solid rock versus building it on quicksand.
But the value here is so much bigger than just getting an accurate positive or negative. Now we're going to look at how the SAMHSA standard actually protects everybody involved, the company and its people.
Because at the end of the day, this whole thing is about integrity. It's about creating a system built on trust, a system that ensures the entire process, from the moment a sample is collected to the second that final report is issued, is handled with absolute care, professionalism, and respect.
And this right here, the chain of custody, is integrity in action. It's the documented, unbroken trail that follows that specimen every step of the way. It starts with a secure collection to prevent any tampering. Then, every transfer is documented. You know who had it and when. The lab itself has controlled access, so only authorized people can even get near it. It all adds up to a final result that is scientifically and legally bulletproof.
And think about what this means for your employees. This intense process is a huge benefit to them. It means their privacy is protected, their personal data is secure. But most importantly, it guarantees their right to a fair, accurate, and uncompromised test. This is how you build real, genuine trust in your company culture.
So, how can we be so sure these labs are actually doing what they say they're doing? The answer is simple: constant, relentless oversight. Getting certified isn't some one-and-done award they hang on the wall. It is something they have to earn again and again. First off, get this. 4 times a year, every single quarter, these labs have to pass blind performance tests. The government sends them mystery samples, and the lab has to get the results 100% correct. It's like a constant, high-stakes pop quiz to prove they're still at the top of their game. And that's not all. On top of those tests, they have semi-annual inspections. Twice a year, inspectors are physically on site, going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. They're checking paperwork, security, equipment, staff training, every single detail. This level of scrutiny is exactly what separates the pros from the amateurs. Let's flip the script for a second. If you're an employee, how much does this stuff matter to you? Does hearing about this kind of oversight make you feel more confident in the process? I'd really love to hear your perspective on this, so drop your thoughts in the comments.
All right, let's bring all this into the here and now. Because having a clear, defensible standard is more critical than ever, mainly because the workplace is just getting so much more complicated.
I mean, we're all dealing with challenges that barely existed 10 years ago. You've got remote work throwing a wrench into testing logistics, and then of course the elephant in the room, the constantly changing laws around cannabis use. It's blurring all the lines for employers and making it incredibly tough to have a policy that's both safe and fair.
This is probably the #1 question we get right now. So I'm really curious, how is your company handling it? Are you shifting your focus to impairment at work? Are you changing the types of tests you do? Share your approach below. Let's all learn from each other. The bottom line is pretty simple. When you're trying to navigate all these gray areas, having a scientifically and legally proven standard to fall back on is your single greatest asset. It is your anchor of objectivity in a sea of total uncertainty. And that brings us to our final section, the action plan. We've talked about the risks, we've talked about the solution. Now let's boil it all down into a clear, actionable takeaway. And just remember this, creating a safe, productive workplace is a massive responsibility, but it's not something you have to figure out all by yourself. There are proven standards and expert partners out there ready to help you get this right. So let's just recap. Why should you absolutely insist on a SAMHSA-certified lab? 1. To ensure maximum accuracy. 2. To guarantee your results are legally defensible. 3. To protect your employees and build trust. 4. To maintain total integrity with zero outsourcing. And 5. To invest in real peace of mind for your business. Because in the end, the lab you choose says a lot about your company. It's a direct reflection of your commitment to the highest standards, not just in what you sell, but in how you treat your people and manage your risks. It's a statement about your dedication to safety, fairness, and excellence.
If you were inspired with this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Reedy Collect. Feel free to share this video as well. Thank you.